Three astute, alert astrologers camped out on the lush, green eastern hills, thinking the night stargazing was business as usual. For 2 years they had been studying the vast sky, watching, waiting, anticipating. Maybe there were 30 wise men when the watch began, but as time went on they grew weary and began to fall away. 30 became 20, and then 10 and 5, until there were 3. But those 3 remained faithful, and on that fateful night when they gazed in the sky as usual, they saw the unusual, bright, resplendent, incandescent, and they knew that's the star. I think they must have immediately called the BBC Bethlehem Broadcasting Corporation, and NTA Nazareth Television Authority, and Radio Judea and the Israeli Times, and said the same to everyone. Stop the press. Sound the trumpets, we have seen the star. Let's imagine that phone call happened today. Can you imagine what the conversation between the wise men and the creme de la creme of correspondents would have been like? We've seen the star. Star? What star? There are a million stars. But this one's special. It's a sign. Sign? Sign, what does it mean? A child is born, a son is given. Son? There are sons born every minute, why should we care about another? He is special, he shall grow to be king. King? Why didn't you say so before? King of what? King of kings. King of... Don't call us, we'll call you. The press did not stop. No trumpet sounded. No camera crew came. No newspaper carried the news. There was not a single social media status update announcing his birth. But yet, all of creation stood at attention. You see, the wind whistled, the waves rose, bees buzzed, birds tweeted, the trees clapped their hands, and the hills skipped like cars. Because unlike the human population, the elements of creation understood that that star, bright, resplendent, incandescent, was a divine announcement, and the host in that heavenly place was thundering through time and space. Stop the press, sound the trumpet. A child is born, a son is given. Upon his shoulders will sit a global government. He will usher in an era of unprecedented peace, of the increase of his government in peace. There will be no end. And someone had said, what's his name? The heavens would have thundered. Wonderful, Counselor, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, the mighty God. Someone is standing in front of a mountain tonight, and maybe you're like me and that mountain is mocking you and asking you, mighty God? How mighty is this God? Well, let me take 3 minutes to help you answer that mountain. You see, this God is so mighty that he sits on the circle of the heavens with the earth as his footstool. He measured the waters of the earth in the palm of one hand. He rides on the clouds like a chariot. He pulled back the clouds to water the hills from his upper chambers. He is clothed with light as with a garment. His eyes are flames of fire. His voice causes the earth to quake. His breath causes the sea to part. This magnificent God flung the stars in space, and there they remain. He said the time for sunrise and sunset has never been late or missed a day. He uses the weak things to confound the strong, and the foolish things to confound the wise. He made a donkey speak wisdom to a foolish prophet, made a stingy raven feed a prophet. He energized the legs of a man to run faster than a horse-drawn chariot of a king. He made a 100-year-old man and a 90-year-old wife father a son named Isaac, raised a man from prisoner to prime minister in a moment. This magnanimous God fashioned every human being uniquely. No two sets of fingerprints the same. Numbered every hair on every single head. I didn't say he counted them. I said he numbered them. When you were combing your hair this morning and 221 fell down, heaven took note. We like to call him Jehovah Jireh, the Lord our provider. Jehovah Nisi, the Lord our banner. Jehovah Rohi, our shepherd. Jehovah Shalom, our peace. But I love to call him Jehovah Rapha, the Lord my healer. You see, he is the only God that saved and kept me from when I was 7 months old, because his word alone is sharper than a two-edged sword, piercing into dividing of soul and spirit, joints and marrow. He is the discerner of the thoughts and intent of every heart. This miraculous God is omnipotent. No other power compares to his. He's omniscient. He knows your next thoughts before you even think it. He's omnipresent in all of time. At the same time, exists out of time, but controls the times and seasons. There's that mighty, magnificent, magnanimous, miraculous member of the Holy Trinity, who left divinity and deigned to put on humanity and do something all of us would call insanity. He allowed himself to be born in Bethlehem as a hapless babe in a helpless manger. Why? To be Emmanuel and save his people from sin, shame, sorrow, sickness, spells, superstition, and the enemy of our souls, Satan. Why? For God so loved the world, he came. Please put your hands together for this God. You're all sitting down like this God, that this God is just some man on the streets. He is not just a man on the streets. He is not just a man on the streets. He's not a homeless person asking for your love. He doesn't need your love. All he needs is your prayer. He left divinity and gain to put on humanity for all of us. Not one person, for every single one of us. This incredible humility, that immeasurable generosity, yielded an immutable result. And now you see his name is above every other name. No pathway can compare in its fame. And at the mention of that name, demons disappear. Disorder, disease, death, dies. Curses, cancel. Cancer, cancel. The earth becomes the grave becomes an empty cave. Blindness becomes 20/20 vision. Barrenness gives birth bountifully. Depression becomes depressed, then turned into jubilation. And people who are none of people become what? A royal priesthood, a holy nation, a chosen generation, elevation. That's the God you honor today. So while CNN is announcing sightings of Santa Claus, and the BBC is broadcasting about St. Nicholas, because it is now politically incorrect to say Merry Christmas. And while the world of Twitter is making Xmas a trend, and the New York Times are wishing you happy holidays, I come here to inspire you today because Pastor Lucky and Pastor Jane has asked me to. And it brings me immense pleasure to give you good tidings of great joy, just like the wise men did that night, and just like you should do every night to friends, followers, family. I say, stop the press, sound those trumpets, roll those drums. Jesus the Christ, Son of the living God, Savior of the dying world, sovereign over everything that draws breath. The immoral, invisible, invincible, inimitable, indubitable, indomitable, irrepressible, incontestable, incomprehensible, indefatigable, indescribable, King of kings.